Hello and welcome back to Gapeys Garden. Today we're going to be taking a look at our cherry tomatoes, specifically the micro dwarfs that I'm growing this season. They're finally all ripening up now. It was a really late season and it's probably going to be a short one as well, unfortunately. But we got 4 micro dwarfs that we're growing this year. 3 of them are in ground and I've got one in a hanging basket. I'm going to be doing a little taste test of each one, showing the plant, and also doing a Brix reading just to see how sweet each one is. I like to grow my micro dwarfs in ground because they require a lot less maintenance. When you grow them in containers like most people do, they require a lot more frequent watering, and I'm all about low maintenance. So we've got the first one here I want to show you is the Birdie Rouge. So this is the smallest of the 3 that I have here in ground, and it gets red tomatoes, and we have quite a few ripening here. This was the first one to set fruit and the first one to ripen, so we'll go ahead and harvest one of these to give a try. We're going to start with the Brix reading, and this is the refractometer I'm going to be using. I did calibrate it with distilled water, so I'm sure that it is good and accurate. So I'm just going to kind of nick the tomato and add a little bit of juice to the surface here. And we don't want any seeds in there, so I got a couple of those. All right, so that should be good. Now we'll just take a look at what the reading is. So we're looking at, looks like a Brix of 4, which isn't super high. So now we'll give it a taste. Yeah, not super sweet. The skin is fairly thin. I think it has pretty good flavor. It has a little bit of a salty taste to it. Not a bad tomato. So I'm going to be just wiping the refractometer here with the paper towel to get ready for the next one. And if you're interested in one of these refractometers, I got it on Amazon for a pretty good price, and I'll put a link to that in the description of the video. The second one we have here is Fat Frog. This one is the second smallest of the 3 I have here in ground, and this is one of the, I think this one ripened last, but this is a green variety, and most of these are not yet ripe, but we do have, this one looks like it might be ripe, so it turns kind of a light greenish yellow color. And to be honest, I'm really not a fan of most green tomatoes, but I will admit that I have tried these already and I was pleasantly surprised. So we're going to give this one a try. Oop, 1 seed. There we go. So this one is also just above 4, so about the same level of sweetness as our other one. Yeah, I really like the flavor of the Fat Frog for a green tomato, which I don't normally like, as I mentioned. It's probably the best tasting green tomato that I've probably ever had. And I haven't grown quite a few of them. I've grown maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 or so. But yeah, it's really good. I'd definitely grow it again. The last one we have in ground is Aztek, and this one is a yellow variety, and it gets fairly decent sized tomatoes, a little bit larger than most of the other ones here, but it is really huge. And I did have to put some Y-stake supports on here to help keep it up because it was just getting really wide and starting to touch the ground. So you can see some of the tomatoes way down at the bottom there are actually still touching the ground. But this one is really, really productive. So we're gonna go ahead and harvest one of these guys. So I'm just putting about 3 drops of tomato juice on there. Well, these are all pretty much the same. This one is also a 4 on our Brix. So this one has a much chewier skin, almost kind of a crunchy skin. So I'm not too fond of that texture. I don't think it's as juicy as the previous 2. It is a very productive tomato, but I'm not sure the taste is as good as the previous two that we tried. Here is our micro dwarf that we've got growing in a hanging basket. This one is called Shimofuri, and it is variegated, which I love. Now the leaves are a little bit wilty right now because it was very thirsty and I just gave it some water. Like I mentioned, this thing drinks a lot of water and it is kind of high maintenance. So if I forget to water it one day, this is what happens. But luckily it's been kind of cooler this week, so it's not as bad as it would be if it was 80 to 90 degrees. But hopefully a little water will perk this guy up. But this one was also really slow to ripen, and it just started ripening a couple here. So we've only got 2 ripe tomatoes on it so far, and they are kind of oblong shape, medium-sized cherry tomatoes. So we're going to give that one a try. There we go. Hopefully this one will give us a different result. Oh wow, that is really surprising. We're at a 10. That's pretty unbelievable. Definitely wasn't expecting that. It has a really sharp flavor. It doesn't taste like a 10 Brix to me, but it's definitely sweeter than the ones we tried previously. But I've never heard of a tomato with a Brix of 10, to be honest. It almost makes me think that there's something wrong. But it definitely shows 10, like just under 10. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I just picked our remaining Shimofuri from our hanging basket because I wanted to do a retest to see if maybe that first one was a fluke. So we're gonna test this one and see what we have. All right, let's check it out. And actually this one is even sweeter than the other one. It is just above 10. Like, I don't know, maybe 10.1, 10.2. I still can't believe that. It tastes a little bit sweeter than the last one, actually. I'm really blown away by how high the Brix is on this. It's hard to believe. So this one, the skin on the second tomato that I had is a little bit chewier than the first one. I'm not sure if that means it was more ripe or not, but the first tomato that I tried from the Shimofuri wasn't as chewy of skin, which I don't particularly like. But the flavor is really good. I think it's more acidic than the previous tomatoes that we had as well. But yeah, interesting results here. I hope you enjoyed this tomato tasting, and if you need a tomato hanging basket that's beautiful and has a high Brix, definitely check out Shimofuri. But that's it for now. I've got a cherry tomato tasting I'll be doing of my other cherry tomatoes here probably next week, and I'll do a similar format as this. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.